Okay. Hello YouTube, how are you doing? Today I will be talking about why I do not believe in the Miketrap theory. Um but that'll be later. Tasha, please go. Fast. Quick.
I don't know what you're. Are you speaking?
Yes, I'm
Did you
speaking.
say something? Oh, I'm sorry. What's your invisible friend right there?
Anyway, first of all, I've been busy, with other things, friends, school, and on Friday we had a movie theater field trip and all that. And I've been busy with all that. Plus, I've just been pretty lazy. Sometimes dealing with homework, all that jazz. Anyway, I'm gonna keep this video shorts. My first reason for not believing in this theory in question is mainly due to the whole fact that Springtrap moans in FNAF 3, but in the FNAF 6 custom night scene he is supposedly talking clearly. Now, sure, his mouth can technically move up and down, but his jaw can't fully close, You never see Springtrap with his jaw really fully closed. It's always like hinging open slightly or, all the way. So he pretty much moans and, and groans and stuff, speaking clearly like he is presumed to be in the cutscene for FNAF Sister Location Custom Night. Um and Mike and William his groan and his actual speaking clearly sound completely different. So they can't really be the same in my mind. You know, I used to believe in this theory, but now I've just found it to be BS. Anyway, second of all, I pretty much, he laughs while he's in the suit, taunting and all that, the children that they can't get him in or whatever. That's not Mike's personality in any way, shape, or form. He's not really one to do that, and we know this from how he acts in Sister Location. He's pretty obedient and all that, but, William Afton is always shown to be, not really reckless per se, but kind of mentally not stable due to the loss of his two youngest kids, the crying child and the sister. Um, and keep in mind that even if Mike were to be the and I actually kind of believe that Mike is the foxy wearing kid, and just because he's part of the group that stuffed the crying child's and head into Fredbear and all that, but let's get into that another day. Actually, that doesn't really help the argument too much. Third of all, how would he bleed? Sure, the mini games are very accurate and all that, to real life, but he would bleed from the spring locks going off. At least William Afton would. And the games are pretty accurate in actually what happens. So, the mini games. So we can't really just say, oh, he never really did bleed or anything like that. You can't really say that, because everything that happens in the mini games has happened in the actual games themselves, the FNAF universe, and all that. So how would he bleed? If blood was still in his skin, it'd be black, really, and he wouldn't really even have skin at that point, seeing as human skin rots away within 3 months at least, and about, I think, 5 months at most. It's completely gone, or so. Not completely gone, but, decayed to the point where, there's, no blood in it or anything like that. It's all concentrated within the guts. internal organs. And keep in mind, Mike would have lost a significant amount of his blood, um, just from the scooping process itself, scooping out all of his internal organs and all that. Would have made him lose quite a bit of his blood. So he probably wouldn't really have much blood to spare to bleed out. And all that. Even if Enard were to be keeping his skin intact somehow, it still wouldn't really have blood supplying it with oxygen or anything like that. So Enard would have had to uh keep it alive in another way. And fifth or fourth, I can't remember. Who cares? What order it is? Scott Cawthon did say that it's the killer within Springtrap, and we know that Mike isn't the killer because at the time of the murders, which would be either a few months or a year after Sister Location, right before FNAF 2, but right after Sister Location, so in between there, after Fredbear's Family Diner closed down and they opened up with Fredbear and Friends, and which is where the animatronics come from. That's where the murders took place, and Mike could not have been the killer because he was possessed by Enard at that point, and Enard was mainly controlled by Baby, which was also controlled by the spirit of his sister, which I highly doubt would go on a rampage killing innocent children, but William Afton would do that. Um, Probably as like some sort of revenge of, or maybe he just suffered something in him snapped, from his two youngest children dying, all that, years, like year ago, at the most a year ago, and at the least a few months ago, and all that, and, oh yeah, back to the whole skin thing, even if it was Mike within, he wouldn't have any skin, and, Springtrap is shown to have, like, at least muscle, a muscular structure inside of him that's left of the person within him. That would not happen with, Mike, because Enard would be in him, and all of his flesh and stuff would have rotted away by then. But with, well, I mean, it would already be rotted away and everything. But with William Afton, he was alive until he got killed, and then his skin probably got preserved in a way, being for the most part, sealed off in the private room and within the suit. So his skin was probably preserved for the 30 years he had to wait. Minus 10 years, just because it's 30 years after FNAF 1 closed, and I presume that it's been a while since it closed. Just seeing how the roof is leaking in the mini game and all that. So I just say, 10 years. He comes back 10 years later after the place shut down to finally destroy the animatronics and never really put the souls to rest, in which they never do. They follow him the entire way there as the Phantoms. Anyway, let's stay on track here. So Mike really cannot be Springtrap. Tell me any sort of Miketrap arguments that I missed, or any sort of Will Trap arguments that I missed in the comments down below. And all that. Argue all you want down there about, oh, Mike is Springtrap because of this, or this. I will listen to it, I just won't reply, mainly due to my pacifist kind of, personality, so I won't reply with a, oh, yeah, you freaking stupid. Like some Miketrap believers, there's this one who's literally just cursing the entire time. Literally, saying you dumb FNAF fans and all that, and like, Jesus Christ, man. Also, not to mention that Springtrap in the credits of FNAF 6 was referred to as William Afton. But, that Springtrap is a different one from the one in FNAF 3, very obviously. But, we can trust that the information that applies to him also applies to the real Springtrap, so if that guy's referred to as William Afton, we can trust that applies to the real Springtrap. Now, if Scraptrap is Willem Afton, we can pretty much apply that to the real Springtrap or original, I guess if you want to call it. I don't know. That part really doesn't make sense. If someone could really explain the FNAF timeline, including FNAF 6, please tell me. What order it goes in and where does it go? I never really got that. If it was after FNAF 3, before, but yeah. So, an interesting fact, I found that FNAF 3 would have to take place in like 2034, I think. Plusing the 30 years to the 1993 that MatPat predicted. He might be a little off, but it has to be somewhere around that time period. Like it could be 1992 or 1990, just individually. But FNAF 3 would actually take place somewhere in the 2030s, and it's just like, oh my god, really? Yeah. I had that reaction too. Some people believe that FNAF 1 takes place in 1987 because the whole Foxy caused the Bite of 87 theory is still out there for some reason. I don't know why. It's just died down since its first arrival. But we all know that it should probably be, and FNAF 1 should snugly fit within 1932. 1992, not 1932. Just due to the higher payment you get. But anyway, back on track. Hopefully you at least found this video informative about the FNAF lore, and yes, I am a FNAF fan, as you can tell. Not just any random gamer, and all that. But anyway, like and possibly subscribe if you really like this video, Doubt really, but many people are gonna do that, really. I bet there's gonna be a huge like to dislike ratio here, and it's not gonna be in my favor. But anyway, see you, YouTube.